the end of the year as we know it.
End of the year.
Oh, you're not singing.
You're singing it.
No, I feel fine.
I feel fine.
6 o'clock TV.
Yeah,
I didn't know that part either.
Yeah.
Right.
That's right.
Well done, Tommy boy.
Tommy boy. So, as we've done in the past, big shout out to Eric Curts.
He knows his stuff.
He knows his stuff. He's on top of things. He gets to things way before we do. We just, copy everything he does.
Everything.
It's our
everything.
everything.
Yeah.
But so Eric, in the past week or so, put out a blog post on his Control-Alt-Achieve website. I'll put the link to that in the description about how to end your year with Google Classroom.
Yeah, he talks about cleaning it up.
Yep. Well, we're going to do a cleanup.
So spring cleaning.
We're going to go through a bit of his list here and give some video examples of how to clean up your classroom. So that way, when you come fall time and you know what your course load is, you don't have to worry too much because you'll have all that good stuff, including previous examples, so on and so forth.
Perfect.
Let's
do it.
Yay. All right, so I've got my classroom open here. I have nothing in here because I'm not a classroom teacher.
Thank God.
Nor will I ever will
Thank
be.
God.
Nobody wants to see that.
No.
That'd be a train wreck.
Worse than him singing, honestly.
I'm not a good singer either. You're right. So, first thing we're going to look at is making sure that you have returned all your student work.
Yeah, it's important.
It is.
Because the beauty of Google Classroom is you own it when you start it as a template.
Right.
The minute you assign it, the student owns it.
Right.
The minute they turn it in, you own it again.
Right.
The minute you grade it and give feedback at the final end, they own it again.
It's just a lot of back and forth.
It's a lot of ownership changes.
It is.
But that's why Classroom is nice, because you don't even have to think about it. It just does it for you.
Yep.
However, you do want to return all the work to students before you close out of anything in Classroom, but you also want to remember if there's anything you want to keep for future,
right,
because you're giving them the ownership of that file, it's always a good idea to open those up, especially for exemplars in future years. You want to do file, make a copy, and keep a copy for yourself.
I like that word, exemplars.
Oh.
It reminds me of Templars. The Templar Knights.
The
Knight Templar.
Templar?
Yeah. For some reason, every time you say it, I think Templars instead of exemplars.
And he's sidetracked again.
I am.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
But that's what makes it fun. Random powder. So I'm in this test class I created as I was trying to help people understand Classroom in the fall. Never deleted it, never archived it. So real quick, all we do is we go up to our hot dogs over here, and we go to work. So this is going to show us the work that is either to review or reviewed already for that classroom. Right. This was an example. I did some silly little thing for it. So we want to make sure everything was returned. So if you look here and you see the test one, you can see what's done, what's not done, and what's returned. Mm-hmm. And this one has one that's not done. So if it was set as done, we could then make sure it got returned. If we want to make a copy of it, and I'll go in here, and I will look at, oh, that's late, right? So we're going to look at his work right here. And I'm going to open this up. So this is the document that I want to keep as my exemplar.
Right.
And I'm just going to do file, make a copy.
That's right.
And save it into my drive.
That way you have an ownership of a copy and the student does.
Yep, because as soon as you hit return, it's no longer yours.
Yep. And then if they delete it, you both lose it, unfortunately.
Right.
Yep.
And that probably will happen because the next step is, once you've already gotten and saved everything you want to save out of it and you've returned all your work, you want to remove your students from the class.
Yes.
Afterwards.
Yeah.
And it keeps it nice and clean because at some point those student accounts, when they graduate, will be disabled. Mm-hmm. So you might as well pull them out of your classroom before then. So simple, easy. We're in our class. We go to students. We click on the student, and we can invite a guardian, and we can just remove.
Mm-hmm.
Boop. So the admin account for our district is no longer part of this class. I'm the only one here.
Empty class, ready to go.
Empty class. So now we can archive it. So when you want to archive it, you want to go all the way back to your classes. So let's go back to classes. We click on the Oreos.
Yeah.
Google and food.
Absolutely.
Talked about that in the past.
We do.
Once or twice.
Mm-hmm.
I'm jealous. Click on the Oreos there. Go to archive. You and your students won't be able to make changes now that your classroom is archived. Blah, 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 blah. I mean, you clicked archive. It's just that thing that we do in computers and technology. We just want to make sure that you know what you're doing.
The beauty of archive is you're not deleting it, so if you had to restore it, you could.
Right. So archive, it hides it from your classroom view. You can no longer see it, obviously, because it's hidden. And you can't submit anything to it. You can't put any new students. You have to restore it in order to do that.
Right. How do you do that in case you accidentally did that?
Yep. So you come here on your hot dogs again.
Yep.
Go down to archive classes.
There they are.
You can see it now. It's got this funky checker pattern over my jelly beans. Those look more like Mike and Ike's and jelly beans.
Yeah, a little bit.
So I click on it. I click restore. Click restore again.
And pull it back if you need it to.
And now I am back in my classes and it's there.
Perfect.
Fantastic.
All right.
All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and archive it again because I don't need this one right now, or I won't need it ever
All right.
again.
So one is return all student work.
Return all student work.
Keep anything you need.
Right.
Keep anything you need should be step one. Then return all student work. Remove the students.
Remove students.
And then archive the class.
Then archive the class. Now that the class is gone, what do? We've got other instances that the class probably exists somewhere. Right?
True.
'Cause we've got the calendar that it's there.
Yep.
So you might want to go into your calendar, uncheck it, hide it, those options, get rid of it so that way you don't have to view it. And you can go in and you can clean up your Google Drive.
True, because everything in Classroom does end up in Google Drive.
Especially if you're tagging years to your classes, you're probably going to want to take those year folders and hide them off. Now, it's very important when we're doing this, don't delete the classes folder.
Right.
So as a
Don't ever touch the Classroom folder. And don't have students delete Classroom folder either.
Right.
No.
Right, because if they do that, that's going to break everything.
Right.
And we don't want to break everything.
No.
So I've got my Classroom folder here. You can edit things inside of the Classroom folder, but don't actually rename, delete, change
parent folder,
permissions,
Classroom.
anything called Classroom.
Yep.
We cannot
Leave it.
stress that enough.
Leave it the way it is.
So in here, I can create a new folder if I want, or I can create it anywhere and call it archive.
Right.
And then simply just drag that folder of the
Which
classroom that we
was the archive
archived.
folder. Boom.
We drop it in, and now we have a
Cleans it
nice clean area. So any other classes you go through, drop them into archive.
And I can't stress enough with naming conventions. If you're breaking up by blocks or by years, you want to think about that when you're naming your classes, because obviously year after year, if you ever had to search for something, it'd make it a whole lot easier if the naming convention fell in some chronological order.
Chronological orders. That's a good thing. Maybe when keep a lookout for as we look to set up new classes in Classroom. I think probably later in the summer we'll do a new video just to refresh everyone on what it's about to create new classrooms and everything of this sort.
Right.
So what else we got? We've gone through what we do with work, what we do with students, what we do with the classroom, real quick what you do on your calendar, and what you can do in the folder.
I think we're clean.
That's pretty good. That's going to clean up your classroom for you. So that's your end of the year.
I'm
as
ready
you
for
know it.
summer.
I wish summer was right around the corner for us. Unfortunately, we've talked about this before, and maybe we go a little longer.
Yeah.
But a lot of our fans out there, we have fans. We have fans now.
It's scary.
We have actual people who like our work.
And that was after you tried to sing.
Multiple occasions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's awesome. It's the end of the year, and we know it.
Carpool karaoke. Here we
It's
come.
the end of the year. That's it.
All right. Sounds good.
That's it.
See ya.